What's going on YouTube? Gary here, gzduel, bringing you guys a deck profile of my Assault Mode Activate Stardust Dragon. Okay, I really like this deck because of these new cards that came out in Cosmo Blazer, and I'll talk about the consistency of this deck both through testing as well as through mathematical probability. So without further ado, I like to talk about a couple of things. First of all, I'll talk about the advantages of using Stardust Assault Mode as a win condition, and then I'll go into the main deck and the probabilities associated with each part. And then I'll talk about the second line options if you don't get Stardust, or if you get Stardust, how to protect your Stardust and prevent yourself from taking damage. As well, I'll talk about some tech choices, especially because of mind control. And then I'll talk about the extra deck and the problems that this deck faces, as well as the side deck and how the side deck produces solutions to those problems that I said. So without further ado, I'll give you the main deck, which is 3 Assault Beasts, 3 Garbage Lord, 3 Garbage Ogre, 1 Gores, 1 Krebons, 3 Psychic Commanders, 3 Scrap Goblins, 2 Stardust Dragon Assault Mode, 2 Assault Teleports, 1 Dark Hole, 3 Emergency Teleport, 3 Fire Formation Tanky, 1 Heavy Storm, 3 Instant Fusion, 1 Mind Control, 1 Monster Reborn, 3 Space Typhoon, and 3 Assault Mode Activate. For the side deck, I have 2 Veilers, 2 Electric Virus, 2 Maxis, 2 Soul Takers, 2 Bottomless, 3 Dust Tornado, and 2 Light Imprisoning Mirror. For the side deck, I have for the extra deck, I have Dragoness the Wicked Knight, 2 of them, and 2 Flame Swordsmen, 1 Black Rose Dragon, 2 Scrap Dragons, 2 Stardust, and 1 Stardust Radiance Dragon, 1 Adrius, 1 Gaia Dragon Thunder Charger, Leviathan Dragon, Acid Golem, as well as 1 Zamaze. Okay, so let me talk about the first thing, which is the advantages of the win condition, which is Stardust Dragon Assault Mode. The advantage is your opponent basically needs 2 cards in order to get rid of it permanently. One to activate an effect, which will threaten my Assault Mode, Stardust Dragon Assault Mode enough that I will have to negate it, and the other one is to remove Stardust Assault Mode from the graveyard, whether that be DD Crow or Soul Release, stuff like that. Okay, so it wastes your opponent's resources, and if your opponent tries to try to destroy it by battle or something, you get a free Stardust that comes out after from the graveyard, and then you can just chain another Stardust Assault Mode in order to get your second dragon out, which is really great. Your opponent basically has to waste so many resources in order to get rid of a card that you got with 3 cards. Okay, and then the other thing about Stardust Assault Mode is that it is resistant to Skill Drain and Veiler. When your opponent tries to Veiler Stardust Assault Mode, you don't have to negate it, because Stardust Assault Mode's negating effect resolves in the graveyard. You tribute itself, and the same thing with Skill Drain, so that even if it prevents you from using the effect, it doesn't prevent you from activating the effect, and then you can basically negate anything that they try to throw against you, and that's really cool. And so the main deck, I'll talk about the mathematical probabilities of getting Stardust Dragon out on the first turn. Yes, on your first turn. And how I'll play it out is, if you take a look at Stardust Assault Mode, you need 3 cards in order to get rid of it. Assault Mode Activate, a level 5 monster, as well as a level 3 tuner. So let me go into the first part, which is the Assault Mode Activate. In order to get this card, you can use access to it by discarding 3 Assault Beasts. As well, you have 3 Tankies, which can search your Assault Beast, which is a Beast Warrior, in order to discard yourself in order to get Assault Mode Activate. Or you can just simply draw the Assault Mode Activate yourself. So that's a probability of 9 out of 40. Okay, for your level 3 tuner, you can see that I have 3 Psychic Commander, 3 Scrap Goblins, 3 Emergency Teleports, and as well 3 Tanky. Tanky can help you search Scrap Goblin, which is a Beast Warrior, and you can draw these out, or you can use these to summon them out, or you can use this to search for one, which allows you basically 12 chances, 12 probabilities out of 40 in order to get it in your first turn. And of course, I can't end it without the level 5 monster, which is the Synchro Material. You have 3 Garbage Lords with you can draw. And if you guys don't know the effect, you can special summon this card by paying 2,000 life points. Yes, 2,000 life points. But you can search this card with Scrap Ogre. And I like Garbage Lord because you don't have to wait for your opponent's turn in order to special summon it like Cyber Dragon or Solar Windjammer. You can just go off on your first turn, which is really good. And you can use Garbage Ogre, of course, to special summon, search it out. And you can use Instant Fusion, of course you have to pay 1,000 life points, to special summon one of these Flame Swordsmen, which are level 5s. So basically that's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 40. I went to stattracker.com and to calculate out of the first 6 cards you draw out of your 40 card deck, how likely it is to draw all 3 of these cards, and it's an 80% chance of drawing the assault modes, 80% chance of drawing the level 5 monsters, and a 90% chance of drawing out the psychic commanders from one of the cards out of the 6. So I really like that. And okay, so let me talk about the plan B options to this deck if you don't get Stardust Assault mode. You can sit on a Gores, you can sit on a Krebons, you can sit on any of these Synchro monsters. I like to sit on a Stardust Radiance because basically, if you guys don't know what this does, is during either player's turn, you can target one card you control. Once this turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So you need 2 destruction type moments in order to get rid of this one Radiance Dragon. And of course, you have Zen mains, and I love Zen mains as always. And what's also good about this deck is you use 3 cards, of course, to get your Stardust Assault mode, and then you have 2 cards, you have 3 cards left in your opening 6 card draw. Those 3 cards can either translate into a second Stardust, which is rarely, but it does happen, and I really like it when I have 2 Stardust. Or you can use those 3 cards in order to get basically another Stardust Radiance Dragon as your plan B, or you can get a Zen mains maybe as your plan B, or you can just normal summon a Krebons, and then when your opponent tries to send this to the graveyard using a negating effect, your opponent cannot get to your life points. They'll just attack into Krebons, and then you just pay 800, which is not much of a cost if you're preventing yourself from being OTK'd. Of course, Gores is also another option. However, there might be some sort of like conflict by using Tenki and Gores, but I feel like your opponent sometimes, when you have Tenki, you have Gores, most likely just wait till your opponent attacks first and you drop Gores, and then you use Tenki and you go off, because Gores is very important to use and to sit on as a 2700 attack backup to your Stardust Assault mode. Okay, with that said, let me go into Mind Control. Mind Control, I feel like, is a really good card against things like, some people run, Starlight Road, right? So if I use a Heavy Storm or a Dark Hole and they summon out Stardust, I'll just be like, hey, cool, let me just borrow that and go for my win condition. Or my opponent sometimes plays Dragoonides and they have a Stardust Dragon. I'll just be like, hey, you know what? I like that Stardust Dragon. Give it to me and I'll go for Assault mode. Or if I'm playing Chaos Dragons and my opponent has something like Red MD, and I'll just be like, hey, I like that Red MD. Let me use this effect, bring back my Stardust, and go for my win condition. And of course, I run Gaia in the extra deck. So if my opponent has a rank 5, rank 6 Exceeds monster, I'll just be like, hey, I'll take that and overlay my Gaia Dragon, and you won't get your monster back. That's why I like this card. Okay, and I love the idea of Zen mains, as well as I've talked about Radiance Dragon, so I'm going to talk about Zen mains a little bit. Your opponent basically, I said, needs 2 cards to divert and get rid of your Stardust Assault mode. Your opponent needs at least 3 forms of destruction in order to get rid of Zen mains without Zen mains effect activating and minusing them as well. So they need 5 cards in order to get rid of your board if you open up with Stardust Dragon Assault mode and a Zen mains. You just basically win. And okay, so the problems that this deck faced: Volcanic Queen, Lava Golem, Grinder Golem, all of those troll cards. I hate those, and I don't necessarily have a solution to them. So if you guys have any suggestions, I would love to hear them, because they're a bit of a pain right now, and I would like to hear them in the comments. As well, there's Soul Drain, Macro, Defissure, which takes away the effects from the graveyard, so my Stardust Dragon Assault will be prevented from coming back. In order to counter that, you can see in the side deck I have 3 Dust Tornadoes, I have 3 mained Space Typhoons, I have a Heavy Storm, so bring it on, Macro players, Defissure players. Okay, and the third thing that this deck has problems with are big monsters and Thunder King. Thunder King prevents me from searching cards with this, searching with this, searching with this, and I hate Thunder King. In order to get rid of Thunder King in the main deck without siding, I'd have to crash into it with Assault Beast or crash into it with the Psychic Commander, because Psychic Commander reduces Thunder King's attack points by 500 by paying 500 life points. But in the side deck, as you can see, for big monsters and Thunder King, I have Soul Taker, because I don't mind giving you like 1,000 life points. I'll just take it away with my 3,000 beater. And I don't mind you summoning a big monster, because I'll just have Bottomless Trap Hole. As well, Bottomless Trap Hole is really good, because when your opponent uses that Fire King deck with Garunix, with like those things that are immune to basically destruction, like torrential tribute. It's really good to just remove them and get rid of the problem. And okay, cool. So other things I want to talk about in my side deck are like Light Imprisoning Mirror. So some people might be asking, why use side in Light Imprisoning Mirror? To which I answer, Constellars are a deck. And I don't know if you guys faced Constellars recently. They're pretty broken with the level 5 Pleiades that can bounce stuff. I hate it. If they go first, right, and I go for Stardust Assault Mode, they'll just go like, oh, you have Stardust? Okay, I'll just bounce that. And I'll basically waste a lot of resources. And they have so many effects, like normal summoning an extra time, or things like using those Exceed materials to bounce cards that I just can't negate like multiple effects with one Stardust Assault Mode, right? So I just use one card to negate all of their effects, which is great. Of course, it negates agents and stuff like that, so Hyperion, Christia wouldn't be much of a problem, as well as Ray Swarms or Light Sworn, Light Rays. I hate those decks too because they just pop boss monster on top of boss monster on top of boss monster. What that means is I'll negate one with my Stardust Assault Mode, and they'll just summon like 5 more, and I'll just lose. But with Light Imprisoning Mirror, that basically stops them from going off, and from like milling, from setting up the graveyard. Pretty useful against Chaos Dragons, but with Chaos Dragons I prefer to use Electric Virus because I could just take their Red MD, or I could just take their dragons that they need and then like either synchro with it or like use Red MD's effect to bring back my Stardust. It's a good time to use this. And of course Maxi is for like windups and and decks that spam stuff. And another thing about Electric Virus is that it can be used against machines. Not that I have a problem with machines, because machines are pretty linear. I could just negate Gear G Armor, I could just negate like the searching of one of those normal summons, and I hope like, and I don't think they have any comebacks. But other than that, I could also side in Electric Virus with Valor, and I steal their Machina Fortress, and I normal summon Valor and synchro summon to get my own Stardust, which is pretty troll. And yeah, that's all I have to say about this deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give me suggestions on how to deal with Volcanic Queen, Lava Golem, and stuff like that if you guys have any suggestions. And if not, then this is gzduels Gary signing out. Have a nice day.